popcorn.
You making popcorn?
Uh-huh.
I only eat popcorn at the movies.
Well, I'm getting ready to watch a video.
Really? What?
Oh, just some scary movie.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
From the prime time, bitch!
Live from the Hollywood foothills of North Carolina, welcome to episode 101 of the Confirmed Epic Podcast, the official podcast of the Epic Review, and officially and proudly presented by the Geeks Worldwide Radio Network. I'm one of your hosts, the real Brad Bell, and joining me tonight, as always, is the king of Halloween, the man who came up with the concept of the 99 days of Halloween and re-Halloween. Not just a friend, but a podcasting partner, Jerry Reed, also known as...
There are few who deny it. What I do, I am the best. Barbecue 17. What's up, everybody?
Man, Barbecue, we are excited to kick off what you have, what has come to be known, and you kind of coined the term Hokey Halloween horror way back when, on the Confirmed Epic Podcast and on the Epic Review, and it's carried over, of course, to your, 99 Days of Toy Terror on Action Figure Barbecue?
31 days of Toy Terror, but 99 days of Halloween is what I call it, because you got August, you got September, you have October, and then you have re-Halloween, which is, October 1st through 7th. So 99 days of Halloween.
Yeah, and obviously we're really excited. Maybe much to my wife's chagrin, I've already gotten to the Halloween spirit. I've got a few pumpkins around here. Nowhere near putting up indoor decorations.
Kristen, Brad has pumpkins up already.
Yeah, there's a pumpkin sitting in front of me right now.
He's got a pumpkin with him right now. So, I'm wearing a pumpkin on my head right now while podcasting.
Abby and I today started putting together this puzzle. It's like Autumn Traditions. It's actually a painting by Terry Redding, a pretty famous artist that they put into be a puzzle, and it's just of a pumpkin patch.
That's cool.
Only 300 pieces, just something kind of cool.
I went trick-or-treating today.
Yeah, sure.
All the houses on my street, except one.
Yeah, you're the only house on your street.
Badoosh.
The last house on the right.
Yeah, I am the last house on the right. And if you come from the other direction, I'm the first house on the left.
And the last house on the left.
And the last house on the left as well, if you think about it.
Yeah, you're the only house on that
Have I ever told you, though? Have I ever told you? We're not going to give away where I live like you did with the entry that time. But in the woods outside my house, there was an old dilapidated cabin. And just a lot of random...
I've never been
chimneys
out there, but I'm
Oh my gosh, man, you got to come over sometime. When it gets fall, we'll walk out there and maybe take some promo pics or something.
Well, Jerry, it's not fall, but it's the Halloween season right now for us, right?
It is, but I want to get colder because there's still like a lot. I mean, there will still be some snakes, but there's still snakes out there, and it's
like 97 today.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal out. So
it is pretty brutal. It makes it hard to get into the Halloween spirit, but that's why we're here. As you know, last year we did a couple Halloween episodes. I know we didn't do as many as we liked, but we're going to continue in the tradition of last year with Anthology August, Slasher September, and of course we'll just celebrate all of October. We're going to be talking different types of horror movies and stuff. So it's kind of off-putting because we introduced this brand new format, right? But now it's kind of going to be everywhere over the next 3 months or so, just because we like to give a special treatment to the Halloween season on this podcast. So here's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to have a game segment. We're going to have what we've been checking out, like we always do. And then we're going to kind of get into the super segments as far as collecting comics, TV, and movies. But we're going to talk about the things in as far as the Halloween season, as far as horror that we're looking forward to this Hokey Halloween. And then at the end, we'll just have a few random Halloween questions that I want to throw to Jerry that are always fun this time of year. So Jerry, let's start actually with not what we've been checking out. Let's start with a game segment here,
All right.
if you don't mind.
I'm happy to play. I'm game.
Okay,
Sorry,
so
that was
we're gonna
was really cheesy on my
it's okay.
part.
That's allowed on this podcast here.
Yeah.
If not, I would have been kicked off my own podcast a long time ago. So what we're gonna do is actually some over-unders as far as the Halloween season is concerned, and I've set the number at a certain amount, and you're going to tell me if you're going to go over or under when it comes to what you'll be doing this Halloween season and as far as the questions I bring up. Okay, so we know the big movie as far as theatrically coming up, we'll talk about it soon, is the Halloween 2018, the sequel to the original Halloween now. So here's what I posed to you, Jerry. It was rumored that they were going to film Halloween 2 and 3 back to back, as far as 2 and 3 being in this new continuity.
Halloween 2, which is really Halloween 3, and Halloween 3, which is really Halloween 4, but not Halloween 4?
Yeah, it's really confusing. So just in this new 2018 continuity.
I want to find a community college or something that will let me teach a class on the Halloween movies. I want a big whiteboard, and I just want to diagram the continuities and the connections, and I just think that would be fun. It would be while I'm wearing a pumpkin on my head.
Halloween's kind of always been like a choose your own adventure. I
Kind
find
of
enjoyment
is.
in all the movies, but for me, my personal viewing order was Halloween 1, Halloween 2, and then H2O. I thought that made a good trilogy if you watched it that way.
It is pretty good. It's pretty solid.
Yeah, but of course, there's so many out there, including the Rob Zombie reboot, including Halloween 3. But let's keep it at this new Halloween series that's hitting this year. I think it's coming out October 19th. All right, Jerry. So over under, I'm sitting it at 2. Is there more or less, or just the amount, just 2 sequels to this Halloween coming out this year?
Now, you said they claim they have filmed one already?
No, they were thinking about filming 2 and 3 back to back.
Okay. I think under.
Okay, under. So you think maybe we get one more, or you think we get no more after this one? I think
we get no more, but we get a true reboot again.
Really?
Yeah. That's my thought.
But I didn't mean more Halloween movies. I meant sequels to this one coming out.
I don't think this one will get a sequel. I think this one will stand on its own, and then they will reboot the series again in some way.
So you're at 0, so that's why
I'm at 0.
Under. Okay, I think this one's going to be huge financially. It's been it seems like for whatever reason Hollywood never chooses to release horror movies in the fall.
It is strange, isn't it?
For whatever reason, I know it was early September last year, but I think it got a big boost financially, even though it was R-rated through September and all the way through October, just because of not only being a great film, the great word of mouth, but being released during the Halloween season. I think we do great on this movie financially, and I think we get one more. So I'm going to go under as well. I think there'll be a sequel to this one. All right, Jerry, let's keep it on Halloween 2018. All right, I'm setting the number at 13. So over or under 13 kills in the new Halloween movie?
I'm going to go over here. I think it's going to be a bloodbath. I think it's not going to be crazy. I don't think we're going to talk about, ridiculous levels, but I think there's going to be one scene where we're just absolutely shocked that Michael Myers has killed a whole house of people, or a whole wing of the hospital.
But you think back, and you've seen all these movies. I've seen them a lot, but you've probably seen them more than me. Is there ever really a time in the franchise where he kills more than 3 people? like in a single scene. Because I can't think of any like mass slaughter by this guy.
I think we're gonna see something that surprises us in this movie.
All right, I'm gonna say under 13. I think it's like 12. I think there'll be an effort to push the envelope, but not be like ridiculous about it. Just because it's following the Rob Zombie, and that was just ridiculous. So Abby's here putting together some pieces of this Terry Redding pumpkin harvest puzzle. Okay, let's see. All right, Jerry. There's a lot of legal mumbo jumbo going on with the Friday the 13th series. We won't get into that. But number of years until we see a Friday the 13th reboot or sequel, just another Friday the 13th. I set the number at 5 years. Do you think it's over or under 5 years?
I think under. I think 3.
Okay, so within the next 3 years, I'm going to say I agree within the next 3, maybe 4 years. So I'm going to go under on this one. Okay, kind of getting into some more personal Halloween things.
All right. Let's do it.
Number of haunted houses you will visit in 2018. So we'll include like corn mazes and stuff like this as well. So I set it at 1. So you're going to go over or under, or are you just going to visit 1?
1, my friend. That's a slow Tuesday. I'm gonna say over. Way over.
I'm going to say right at this number with me, so I'm going to go 1 because I want to make an effort to go to at least the haunted mill again, even if it's just me and you.
You don't think y'all
together.
will go to a corn maze? We have a lot of pictures of us when the little one was just a month or 2 old at a corn maze. So.
We'll definitely take Harper to like a pumpkin patch or something. If you guys find like a good corn maze or something,
we'll meet up.
That's not like ridiculously far away. We may go.
You got a great one in Huntersville.
Yeah, that's not that. Maybe it will be, but I'm gonna say, Jerry, I want to make an effort to go to one haunted house with you this Halloween season. So I'm gonna say, for me, that number is just right on spot. I'm gonna say 1. I hope it's over though.
I hope it
All
is
right.
too.
Number of days until you put out indoor Halloween decorations, Jerry.
Well, I have at least, I think, 6 or 7 that I haven't taken down since last year.
All right, so let me clarify.
Okay,
here. I know, and you can go check that out on actionfigurebarbecue.com.
I got
to
6
see
or 7.
Jerry's list of kind of like permanent Halloween decorations, not counting his horror collection, by the way, in the hobby room. But as far as officially like put your indoor decorations up. All right, so I'm gonna say
all of them.
Like all your.
Because I move them a little bit at a time. Like I just started putting some out the other day.
All right, so let's say for the purposes of this over-under, until they're all up, I set the number at 31. You think you're under or over 31 days until you have them all up?
Until everything is up inside, I'm gonna say like first week of September. So
yeah, that would be over then.
You think over?
Okay, so if it's August, today's August 7th. That's when we're recording this,
so September
right?
7th.
So September 7th. So you think it'll be? You think it'll be under that?
Yeah, just maybe by a day or 2.
Okay, so you're going under on that. I'm gonna definitely say we're planning on putting our. I done talked to Abby. I don't know if it'll happen or say I've already spoken with Abby, my lovely wife. We're talking September 18th for maybe indoor, so I'm gonna go over.
Gonna go over
on that one.
Okay.
All right, number of and I don't know as far as I know you put some stuff up. Do you put a lot of outdoor decorations up, Jerry?
Not a ton. I've got some stuff, but I don't have a lot of people around me, so I don't have as many people that I guess would enjoy it because there's just not like houses around.
See, ours is in a neighborhood, so we have like tons of trick-or-treaters.
Yeah. So mostly mine is all for my enjoyment, and like my little one's enjoyment.
But you do have some stuff.
I do. I definitely put some stuff up outside. So I want to build a big Mothman out of wood, just like a wooden silhouette of Mothman this year with red reflective eyes, and just like stick him in my tree line.
Speaking of Mothman, I
Oh my
want to
gosh.
give before we finish this game, I want to give a quick shout out and plug to the Bloody Hook podcast. It's a podcast that's just getting started, 4 or 5 episodes in, where they basically each month they talk about a urban legend like Bigfoot, like Mothman, and talk about their experiences with them and basically stories that's been told throughout the years. So I just started listening to them. You'd like that.
I gotta
podcast,
listen to that,
Jim.
man. I've been to the Mothman Festival. I've been to Point Pleasant on a number of occasions. I am a Mothman
That's a pilgrimage for you.
aficionado. Oh, the first time. I got a great story about. So we stayed at the Lowe Hotel, which is that overlooks the Mothman statue, and is reportedly a haunted hotel. And so we were coming back. My daughter was maybe 3 or 4 months old at that time, maybe 3 months old. And we were coming back from visiting family, and we stayed in Point Pleasant overnight. And I had read a little bit about the Lowe Hotel. My wife didn't know anything about it. And I'm a skeptic, so I wasn't going in expecting to see anything. I just thought it was a lot of fun. So I went in and asked the folks, what did they have available? It was like Thanksgiving weekend or after Thanksgiving. Turned out they had everything. We were the only people staying in this old hotel. And so they said, whatever room you want. And they said, we have rooms with my wife was in the car with the baby, and they said, whatever room you want. We have rooms with jacuzzis. We have rooms with this, that. And I said, do you have any rooms that overlook the Mothman statue? And they said, well, yeah, those are our really old, rooms. And I said, I'll take one. So,
oh god,
yeah. So it was a really nice. It was a nice room, but it had the old. I think it's called a transom. That's like the window that opens over the door and stuff. And it used like an old style skeleton key. But you definitely get the feel of the Shining when you're walking through there. And I mean, the folks are as nice. The folks are as nice as can be. But we were down the hall from a room where apparently like a pirate captain ghost appears and stuff. So it was very cool. I love Mothman. So that's what the moral of that story.
Yeah, we love Mothman on this podcast. All right,
we love
Mothman.
Days, we don't care who knows.
Let's finish this game. Number of days until you put out your outdoor decorations. I got that at 50. I'm gonna say probably just a tad over, or actually I'm gonna go under. I think we get it at 49, 48 here. What do you think, Jerry? You over under on 50 days until outdoor?
I'd say probably around the 1st of October.
So you're over.
I'm probably a little over.
Yeah. If it's up to Abby, we'll be over on that. All right, Jerry, let's get into what we've been checking out this week.
What we've been checking out.
Check checklist? Check. Double check checking of checklist? Check.
Okay, Jerry, read one of the most beloved segments on the Confirmed Epic podcast. What have you been checking out this week?
One of the things I've been checking out is a Batman comic that I actually didn't know existed. I was at a local bookstore called...
What?
Yeah, called Got Books, and I found it's an Elseworlds comic from 1996, and it is a story where Elliot Ness is helped by the Batman, and he's called the Bat-Man. And so it's a story about Elliot Ness hunting down Al Capone during Prohibition, and assembling a group of lawmen and some who are not lawmen to go after Al Capone. And it has this very cool kind of gangster era Batman who wears a leather hood and uses a Tommy gun or a Chicago typewriter. It's called Batman Scar the Bat. It's by Max Allan Collins with the art by Eduardo Barreto. And I absolutely love Elseworld stuff. And it's always exciting to find something. And if you read the afterword by Max Allan Collins, it's just really interesting that he put a lot of thought into this. He's a big, was really interested in Elliot Ness and the work that he did in trying to stop the organized crime of Al Capone. And so it's a very interesting book. The art's really cool. I mean, it definitely has kind of an early 90s comic feel in a good way. Not talking like the extreme image, but you look back at some of that Batman art from the 90s and there's something very very detailed but still very clean about it.
It's very distinct.
It's very distinct, and I think this one has it, but it captures that gangster feel. Todd Klein does the lettering, who's a name you see almost like any time you see lettering. It seems like Todd Klein is one of the big ones. But it's a really good book, especially if you're interested in the gangster stories of the Prohibition era. It is interesting because you do have a Batman who is openly using a machine gun. But
that's what I was gonna ask. Does the Batman
Oh,
fire
absolutely.
a Tommy gun?
He mows people down. But
this is Elseworlds.
This is
though,
Elseworlds, and Bruce Wayne is not Batman in this. And
What?
it
Who
is
is?
it is not somebody like it's not like a version of Bruce Wayne. It's Elliot Ness. Elliot Ness was actually is
wow.
Batman. He takes on this
That's pretty
role
cool.
to be able to go outside of the law. So it's kind of cool. It's a very cool story. It's sort of told in like a flashback that Elliot Ness is telling somebody, about his younger days. So it's a very, very interesting story. I dug it. I found it for like $3.50 somewhere. I still love these prestige formats, and I really wish DC would do more of them where, it was still just a one-issue thing, but it's thick enough. It actually has the name on the spine. And
Well, Jerry, you can get 3 of those with the DC Black label.
Yeah.
They're going to be like prestige
I am
format. But
excited.
they're going to be like 3-parters, though.
I'm okay with that.
But you'll probably just trade weight the big trade.
Depends. Yeah, if the prestige formats are nice, I will. Like I did pick up the last ones DC did like that. I did pick up the Dead Man series.
Okay, yeah, that was pretty cool. Does the ventriloquist appear?
He does not. There is nobody. I will say it is one of the least Batman stories that the only thing is kind of this persona of a Batman who appears. I mean, there really is nothing else to it that would, if you took out the distinctive, cowl, it really wouldn't. I mean, it feels like a Batman story, but you wouldn't see anything that actively identifies it as a Batman story.
Not as batsy as we're used to with the Bat, huh? So I got a chance to check out a ton of movies in the past couple weeks, but, for the sake of time, I'm only going to mention a few here. One I got to check out was Ready Player One. And I actually didn't plan on bringing up this Spielberg movie tonight, but there's one scene in particular that I thought would be very fitting to discuss, or not to discuss, but just to kind of shout out during this podcast. I can say mild spoiler as far as like a scene reveal for Ready Player One, so skip ahead maybe 3 to 4 minutes if you don't want to hear this. But Jerry, you're familiar with Ready Player One. I never read the Ernest Cline novel. Have you?
I have not read it, no.
Okay. Andrew had read it before he went and saw the film. And there is tons of pop culture references, almost to the point where it's like pop culture just threw up all over the screen, and it's overwhelming at times. Like it's
kind of the point of the book and movie, right?
It is, and I heard the movie is a lot more, believe it or not, subtle about it.
Yeah.
This is what Andrew said. The movie's much more subtle about than the novel. The novel's like, and then we saw Freddy Krueger, and then we saw Optimus Prime, and then we saw the Ninja Turtles, which, hey, these are all things I love, don't get me wrong, but sometimes it feels like the story relies a little bit too much on the references more than a organic story itself. But one of my favorite parts, so the whole thing is pretty much, a big MacGuffin chase. They got to find these 3 keys. And one of the keys is at the Shining Hotel.
Oh, that's very cool.
So
the
what was it?
Overlook.
The Overlook Hotel. And they go into room 237. You have the scene with the lady in the bathtub. You have the twins. When they go to the Overlook Hotel and the Shining, the soundtrack, the score starts playing, it's completely out of left field because it's a lot of superheroes, a lot of science fiction stuff referenced, but even though you see Freddy Krueger in the trailer, you don't really expect him to have an all-out horror scene.
Yeah.
But man, this scene really was probably the best pop culture reference best. It was the best of the film.
It makes me
because
more interested in seeing it, hearing about that scene for some reason.
Yeah. And the thing about that scene made the movie for me. And the thing about this movie, the first 30 minutes, I was like, oh, I can't watch this. This is like watching a video game. And the stuff that takes place in the Oasis is a little bit overwhelming. But when they get out of the Oasis and they focus on the more human elements of the characters, like Wade Watts, the main character, man, it's really good. The score is great because I don't know if it is John Williams who scored this one, but he intertwines a lot of like classic riffs from like Back to the Future score and stuff into this score. I'm going to look it up and see who scored this movie real quick. I want to give him a shout out. It may be John Williams. But the movie was very enjoyable. Jerry, it's worth watching.
Okay.
It is definitely worth. It's Alan Silvestri, who's a great composer. But I mean,
how did you watch it?
I just watched it on demand.
Okay.
I paid like $6 and it's not one that I wanted to take the leap and blind buy.
Sure.
But it's one that it's definitely one I probably would have saw in the theaters, but Abby was like really pregnant.
Yeah.
Because this came out late March, early April. If I was rating it, I would give it a good and a half. So check it out. Definitely if you're in the pop culture like you probably are if you're listening to this podcast. But the Shining scene made it. Jerry, what else have you been checking out?
Hey, so last weekend I was with some friends. A friend of mine is getting married, and so we did a guy's weekend in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. And we went to a room escape game, which I've done a couple times before. And so we went to the escape game in Pigeon Forge. And, they do ask that you don't talk about like what you actually did in the room too much, to give away the spoilers or anything. It's not going to spoil anything. But we did a game that was called Mission Mars. And it was insanely fun. There were 6 of us. And so to kick things off, they actually had spacesuits for us. So we didn't have helmets. I mean, but it was like the orange jumpsuit and had all like the logos on it and the flag, American flag, and
Did y'all do a slow motion walk?
Oh my gosh, we act like we're walking on the moon. We walked in slow motion. We took our pictures while we were all looking up and to the right.
That's awesome.
We tried to recruit for Space Force. I mean, it was fantastic. We had a really good time. And but what was so exciting? If you've never done a room escape game. They can be a bit on the pricier side. I mean, you're getting about an hour's worth of play, maybe a little less if you get out faster. But sometimes they tend to seem to run in the around the $30 to $40 range. But so it's not something you can do all the time. If it's something you do like once a year or twice a year, I mean, it's definitely worth it, especially if you're with a group of folks that you know. And we had a ball because this one we were on a spacecraft on the surface of Mars, and the story was that there was some kind of like a solar storm coming, and we had to get the spacecraft off the planet and to a safe distance away. So we were on board this ship, and I mean the ship was made of multiple rooms. There was like one massive room that had a hallway of its own. And then there was like another side room that we started in that we had to get doors open to get inside. But it had like a giant, control deck in the middle. Kind of reminded me of something out of like Sphere or something. This big round control deck, or the thing that they use at the Rebel briefing that in Star Wars that projects the holograms of the Death Star coming and stuff. But I mean, there was a time when, we had like self-destruct sequences were going off, and we were having to like turn keys synchronized, and we actually like went out onto the surface of a planet, and I had to crawl inside like a Russian spacecraft. But it was really fun. It was definitely really a chance to kind of live out one of those. A sci-fi film of some kind, and some of those experiences. So
like Armageddon.
Oh, like Armageddon, or Red Planet, or what's the one with Tim? Was it Tim Robbins? Was it Mission to Mars? Was that this one was called Mission to Mars? The one where they go in like the big pyramid. Because all those Mars movies came out at the same time in like the late 90s, early 2000s. Because there was Mission to Mars, Red Planet, and like Ghost.
Remember Space Cowboys?
Yeah, Ghosts of Mars. Like all those movies came out like at the same time. So, but it was really super fun, especially, I mean,
Mission to Mars is Tim Robbins. That was 2000.
But this was called Mission Mars, and I mean, just getting the chance to like do this while wearing spacesuits was pretty fun. So,
but it sounds like I've never done one of these.
We have to do one sometime.
I don't know if it's still there, but a former student of mine who's graduated a while ago, Greg Hawkins, shout out to him. They actually, I wish I could give it a plug on the podcast, but they actually opened a room escape place in Shelby.
Yeah.
In the Hollywood foothills.
Andrew Stokes, a.k.a. Andrew Stokes, has gone to that one before and really liked it.
Yeah. I've heard good things, so I'm proud of him. Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
It's fun, man. I mean, if they had one where we got to wear a Ghostbuster uniform and solve like a paranormal mystery, oh my gosh, that'd be great. I want to build one in my house. That'd be really cool, wouldn't it?
Be cool to do one while you're podcasting.
Like trying to escape. We're live, escaping from this room. So.
I don't know how interesting that would be. Probably be a lot of me
there was
annoyed.
A little bit of yelling and screaming during ours, especially at one point where I said, hey guys, should I go ahead and hit this button? And then when I hit it, alarms went off and a self-destruct sequence. So yeah.
That's hilarious.
It's pretty exciting, man. One of my friends like unzipped his spacesuit and had it down like around his waist, like you see people do in movies. Man, it was fantastically fun. So,
all right, Jerry, speaking of fantastically fun, I went ahead and ponied up, well, it was 1 month free, but it's $5 a month. I ponied up the $5 a month to sign up for Shudder streaming. This is something I've heard a lot of podcasts and just cinephiles talking about being well worth it if you're into horror and heavy suspense. Shudder is basically Netflix for horror.
Okay.
And you can get it on like any major platform such as your Xbox, your PlayStation, your Roku, any type of thing that can do smart TV apps. This can do. You can get an app on your phone if you have a smartphone. But Shudder has, much like Netflix, their own original content. There's one movie I watched on there called Ruin Me. I'm not going to talk about it now because I think we're going to actually maybe review that movie during the Hokey Halloween season. But Jerry, when I got onto this app, I mean, my jaw hit the floor. They have it broken down. So here's what's really cool about it. And I can't believe Netflix hasn't done this. So they have something called Shudder TV. So the first thing on the app when you go into Shudder TV is 4 like channels where they have movies always playing. And most of the time it's movies you can just find and stream on there. Sometimes it's not. But they are basically have 24/7 programming.
That's
cool.
Have like I like that.
Slasher. Yeah, it's really cool. They have a slasher channel.
I don't know why I like that, but I like that.
That's kind of, I think it's something about, sometimes with Netflix and whatnot, you're overwhelmed by the amount of choices you have.
Yeah, but you just tell me to watch something. Oh man, I see Kane, See No Evil, and See No Evil 2 are on there.
Yeah, that's on there, but they have like they call it the Slashix channel, they have the Psychological channel, they have a Shudder channel, which is their original content.
Channel Zero is on there.
Yeah, Channel Zero.
Christmas Horror Story, that's what we watched last year, right?
Yeah, I'm going to talk about Channel Zero a little bit later on in the TV section of this podcast, but Channel Zero Season 1's about to be on there this week. What's really cool, Jerry, is directors curate stuff. Yeah. So, like, every month they'll have, like, a different director, like, pick their top 3 horror films.
Very cool.
It may not be of all time, but just whatever Shudder can get access to. And, like, you can say, curated by John Carpenter, and he'll pick his top 3 that's on Shudder. So you can watch his top 3 pick. They have this thing broken down in categories as far as possession, as far as slashers, as far as... They don't have an anthology section. There are anthologies on there, but they don't have an anthology section. But they have like an aquaphobia channel, like a bite channel.
That's crazy.
Yeah, a channel I shouldn't say, but like, section.
No,
of
but
movies.
it's cool because you kind of have a better idea of what you might be watching. Because there's definitely types of horror movies I just don't care for that much. So
yeah, they have like a haunting section. Like,
man,
it would be different if it was like $15 a month. But considering this is only $5 a month, and we're not sponsored by them, but if you go to shudder.com/podcast and sign up, you get a month for free.
And tell them the Confirmed Epic Podcast sent you.
It does ask you who referred
and they'll say,
you, and
who?
Yeah. But if you do say that would be very cool.
Would be pretty cool.
Jerry, I'm definitely keeping this through the Halloween season.
I'm looking at it, man. This is pretty cool.
And maybe beyond that. I think it's going to come down to like how much original content did they continue to put on there. Right now there's a pretty good amount of either exclusive or original content, so stuff you can only get on there. Here's what I really like. It seems like they care so much more about, this is much more narrow as far as the target audience than like Netflix is. It doesn't appeal to as many people as Netflix, but excuse me. They send out a weekly newsletter, Jerry, telling you via email, obviously, telling you what's new, giving you recommendations from different people, like within the horror industry. But it is like they put maximum effort into this. Like you get every penny of your $5. So I definitely recommend Shudder. So Jerry, I think you may check that out. I know there's a movie that we're going to get together, hopefully, and watch. So, all right, Jerry, you got one other thing you've been checking out?
Oh yeah, I definitely just wanted to update everybody. So I found the Target exclusive Gamorrean Guard from Star Wars: The Black Series the other day. Reviewed him earlier this week. Very cool action figure. So it's a little more pricey. The package is bigger. He's kind of a bulkier figure. I'm definitely not sure that he would have fit, in one of the regular packages. But he is very cool. Actually, soft goods cloak. That's pretty slick. So there's some cool Star Wars Black Series stuff that's kind of trickling out, making its way here. I have my Comic-Con exclusive, Bespin Han Solo with the Minoc on the way. I actually just got Enfys Nest a couple weeks ago with her speeder. So hopefully reviews of those that will be showing up here pretty soon. But definitely still loving the Black Series. There's some cool stuff that's coming out. Did you see the Han Solo as a Mud Trooper the other day that they showed at the I think it was a toy convention or a comic book convention in Mexico.
Photos on
it's a Black Series. It's called Han Solo Minmin, but it's him as the Mud Trooper. It's very cool, very nice. Detail, that new face printing that they're using just looks incredible. Yeah. So
Hasbro, I can't wait to see what Hasbro does with Power Rangers. That's what I'm just.
Well, they're supposed to be showing. Oh man, the Asphyx is on here. That's a great movie.
Are you on Shudder?
Yeah, I reviewed that a couple years ago. It's where this guy finds like that some kind of creature that comes to people before they die, and so like he captures his Asphyx. And so that he can't die anymore. It's really cool.
See, I'm trying to not get... I watch a lot of horror whenever Abby is busy doing something or at work. Just because... and Harper's sleeping. But just because I don't want to get... Abby likes horror. She doesn't like it like we do. But I don't want to get her burnt out on it. Like a couple years ago, I think maybe last year... Even I had her burn out on it by mid-September. Yeah. So I'm not trying to do that again. But Jerry, you ready to get this
I'm ready
show
to get
rolling?
I'm ready to get the show on the road. Yeah, I wish I had more people around me that like to watch horror movies because my wife is like, we'll watch a little bit of stuff every now and then, but she's not that big into it. And I'm just not that. I don't usually watch that much on my own. It's just I don't know. It's like one of those things I just don't. It's not as much fun unless you watch it with somebody else. So
well, we should get together like we did with ABC's of Death and watch one of these.
We need to watch a
things
couple
on
of
Shudder.
these, absolutely.
All right, Jerry, let's start with collecting tonight. So we're going to basically talk about a couple things, maybe a couple traditions as far as my end of the spectrum here of what we're looking forward to horror-wise collecting over from now until Halloween or maybe even early November with some of these action figures. Jerry, I've listed some things in the show notes, so I'll let you start because you'll be the one, buying most of this stuff. So, what are you looking forward to? Give me one thing you're looking forward to in collecting as far as the Halloween season.
I got one thing on here that you do not have listed.
Okay.
All right. You've seen the WWE Zombies, right?
No, I have not.
Oh, you haven't seen any of them? So,
no.
Past couple years, I've reviewed a good deal of them. WWE has done these things, or Mattel has done these figures called WWE Zombies. And they're zombified versions of WWE superstars. And, I mean, some of them look just like kind of more, normal zombies. That sounds really strange. But normal zombies. Other of them, like this, Stone Cold Steve Austin actually has like a flaming skull for a head.
That's cool.
It's pretty cool. Or a smoking skull, actually. Like the smoking skull belt. But there's a third series of them coming out, and I imagine we're going to see them pretty soon. But it has Zombie Kane, so you can have,
he's a mayor now.
You have a mayor,
mayor-elect
a zombie version of the mayor-elect of Knox County, Tennessee. This one, he's about the only, longer-term superstar in there. But there's like a zombie version of Finn Balor, who's a, pretty fairly new WWE. He's been in a lot of other promotions for a while. Zombie Matt Hardy, Zombie Jeff Hardy, Zombie Shinsuke Nakamura, who wears a lot of clothing that makes you think of Michael Jackson, so he looks kind of like he's out of a Thriller video in this zombie version, and then Zombie Charlotte Flair. So I really do hope that they do like a zombie Ric Flair's or something in the future. That would be really cool. But, I mean, these things are fairly inexpensive. They're usually around $12 or so. And they're just really cool because if you think about it, there's not always a lot of just regular zombie action figures out there. So I like to add these to my zombie. And I have a whole wrestling ring with just like the weird zombie WWE figures and random Bray Wyatt figures and like this John Cena that's made out of metal. So my wrestling collection is very strange.
Mezco has the 2 Dawn of the Dead zombies, but they're not hitting till January.
Yeah,
that 2-pack. So that's why I didn't put them on this list.
I think these could be out very soon. With a lot of toys like that, it's just tough to tell. I see you have NECA's Pennywise on here.
I do, and that could be either one. So that can
those
be
are
Tim Curry.
The one from the new film is actually shipping right now. My pre-order came in today from Big Bad Toy Store. I don't have the figure in hand. It came into my pile of loot. But that one's out, and I believe NECA put up the Tim Curry version of Pennywise today on their Amazon shop and their eBay shop as well.
Is the GameStop, has anybody seen the GameStop exclusive?
I have not heard anybody see it yet, but that is a creepy, disturbing figure.
Does it come with the regular head, or is it just the bloody face?
It doesn't come with as many heads as the standard version does. Yeah. But it comes with a couple, but then it has the red balloon says I love dairy instead of just the standard red balloon. And then it has Georgie's arm. That's pretty disturbing. It's not just an arm, it's Georgie's arm. Which, I mean, it's obviously from the scene in the movie and, where he's waving the arm, but we talked about this at Toy Fair. Like, it was one of the figures that really caught my eye. It is pretty disturbing, yeah. I don't know.
The thing about this, though, like, I'm at the point where if I got a horror figure, which I probably wouldn't, but if I did, I would pretty much have it up as a Halloween decoration and then probably pack it away.
Yeah.
Like, I could see myself having like a shelf full of slashers I could put up, in September of every year. But obviously you're not going to have this on display where Allie can see it. But God, this would freak a kid out.
It would. It's a little, yeah. I'm not sure that I don't know that I would get the GameStop one. I mean, especially with the regular one coming out there, but it is pretty freaky. So, and I will tell you, yes, you can put those things up, but I have a zombie shelf, and she tries to come look for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get pretty interested in that stuff right away. I mean, you
They
got
just
to keep them
know they're
back.
not supposed
right?
to,
There's
I
something.
guess.
The one right now is a year ago, it was the Arkham Clayface.
Yeah,
It's pretty crazy,
huge one.
pretty big figure, pretty crazy looking. And of course, she'd like she'd be looking at all the other DC figures that I have and see that one, like look at it for a minute, and then sort of like, okay. For a while, it was a Wampa. She had a Wampa.
That's pretty mild.
Well, yeah. But she took the Wampa in her room for a while. The old Toys R Us Wampa that's like for 12-inch and stuffed. And then one day she was like, I don't want this Wampa in my room anymore. And I said, okay.
You don't want to let her take Pennywise.
And I said,
that's
why?
for sure.
And she said, because I'm afraid it might turn real. So I was like, okay, good point.
That's the thing with kids. Like, they think they can handle something, and they act
and
like
then
they
it's
can.
like, nope. So.
And then it's overwhelming. So let's flip to a little bit of something more kid-friendly and positive here, and we'll get back to NECA. You always got to get back to NECA.
Get back to NECA. They're getting me back. I hadn't bought NECA stuff in a while, but they've had some good stuff lately.
They got some good stuff, man. So anyway, Jerry, are you familiar with the Boney Bunch?
Is this something that's on Shudder? No,
The Boney Bunch is, I think it's been going for about 10 years now. It is a series of
Is this something
statues.
Is this something I should put in my search engine?
Yeah, it'll be safe. It's safe for work.
I'm just joking.
So the Boney Bunch is like a collection of statues. They usually do they've got up to 10 in the past couple of years.
Those are cute.
They usually do 5 to 10 a year. And they have a big annual release party.
Oh, wow.
Of course, I'm talking about Yankee Candle. This year, the release party is Saturday, August 25th, where they reveal these to the public. And a lot of them sell out pretty quick.
You going to be there, Brad?
I'll probably just order what I want to online. We usually get one Boney a year. Sounds weird saying that, but that's what they call them, Bonies. We usually get one Boney a year.
Well, you are getting older.
But Jerry, last year was a big year. We got 2 Bonies. And the reason we got 2 Bonies is because we had a kid. I'm serious. I know this sounds gross, but I'm not actually meaning this for once to be a perverted joke.
I'm glad you didn't bring this conversation up on the 100th podcast when everybody was listening.
Yeah, all right. So, Jerry, our horror and Halloween are like our most down. Like I went back and looked at our. You remember when we did Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors?
I do.
Yeah, that thing had like over 400 downloads.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, the horror stuff's popular just because it's more niche. There's not as many horror podcasts as you would think. There's a lot, but there's not like as many as like general film podcasts. But anyway, they're these themed like statuesque porcelain, I guess you could say.
Candles?
They're not
candle holders. I mean,
they hold candles. Some of them do, and some of them are just an accessory to a candle holder. But they're themed. Like last year, we got a professor because I'm a teacher, so we got like a professor one, and they had a pregnant one. So we got that one because at the time Abby was pregnant, and hopefully this year they'll have like a baby one. They did last year.
So you buy Boney Bunch like some people buy Precious Moments.
Well, we buy. You know what we buy these like a lot of people buy Hallmark ornaments.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like Abby and I pick out usually one Hallmark ornament each year, usually one each.
Yeah.
And then
which I've got that catalog right here.
Yeah, I need to look through that. Adam Dixon, favorite movie, 13 Hours, friend of the podcast. He actually has already picked out 2 Hallmark ornaments. That piece of crap. I'm just kidding. But anyway, I'm excited about this. It's fun. It's just
his favorite movie is 13 Hours.
Yeah. It's a very family-friendly thing to do for the Halloween season. I look forward to putting these up throughout the house, and maybe Harper. She's really starting to notice things, even if she doesn't know what they are. So just for her to notice these, I thought that would be pretty cool. Jerry, I think you have a very special Mezco that should be arriving in October. You want to talk about that for a second? Are you excited?
I am very excited for Mezco's Michael Myers that's coming out from the original Halloween, and I'm really, really hoping that they do manage to get this out in time for the Halloween season. We know that...
I think they will. That one's been pre-ordered for a while.
I'm really hoping they do. I mean, they didn't they put it up last Halloween for
maybe
pre-order?
Right after or Halloween or right around. But here's the thing that I noticed. So it was up for pre-order forever at BigBadToyStore.com. It sold out. Yeah. And then it went back up for pre-order. So I'm thinking that they probably getting 2 batches, and you got yours pre-ordered in the first batch. So I think a lot of people who ordered early will get this in time for Halloween.
I hope so. I mean, there's a couple reasons. I like 112 Collective.
Obviously,
I don't like everything that they do. I'm honestly been becoming much more discriminating on which ones I pick, because I mean they are just definitely a little bit more expensive than.
You can get 3 NECAs for the price of 1 Mezco.
That's true.
Most of the time.
But I've definitely not been impressed by some of Mezco's horror offerings, but I think their Michael Myers is really good. I think he's a character that looks. The baggy suit does look good on him. It doesn't work as well for some of the characters. Like, I don't think the Jason actually looks better than anything NECA's done, but I think Mezco's Michael Myers does look really good. Also, it's been a while. NECA is getting ready to do Michael Myers from the new film, but it's been a while since there's been a Michael Myers based on the classic appearance.
I wonder if they'll get that license back.
I don't know. And the accessories here knock this out of the park. You have the lit-up jack-o'-lantern. You get 2 knives.
So is it battery operated?
It probably uses one of those little tiny batteries, like a Hot Toy, or
like a watch battery.
Yeah,
smaller.
Mezco has the light up. The armored Batman's eyes light up using little batteries, so probably uses something like that. But you also have the sheet accessory, which I mean that was a NECA figure from a number of years ago that was insanely hard to get and insanely expensive. And then you have the Judith Myers tombstone, which is a pretty, iconic element of that film. Multiple hands, and I mean, just looking at them, I'm like, this is pretty cool. The only thing would make this better is if it actually had like an alternate Blood Tears head or something. I know that's a different.
Does it come with the white sheet?
It does come with the ghost sheet accessory. Yeah, it has the glasses and stuff.
When you look at this figure, I mean, obviously we hadn't seen as far as mass production in hand, but it looks like it justifies the $80 price point.
It does. I mean,
it does looks more deluxe.
Yeah, there's definitely seems to be a lot of accessories here, and I don't know. There's something about it that feels like to me that's doing something that I haven't seen other people who have released Michael Myers figures. Like, I look at it and I feel that it's naturally like better than what NECA has done and what McFarlane has done in the past, because McFarlane was the first one to do the Michael Myers.
I used to have a huge 18-inch McFarlane.
It was like Myers. The movie Maniacs, right? They upped it. Yeah. I still have that. Cool. I still have the smaller one. I think it's very cool. I actually use the pumpkin from it in a lot of my Halloween reviews and stuff.
Well, let's stay on Michael Myers. So you talked about NECA's got the 2018 figure coming out. It's looking like this isn't shipping to November, so it may be here in time for re-Halloween. But as far as it being here for Halloween, we don't know. Is this something you plan on picking up? I think it looks like a really cool figure, and just for the fact that NECA hasn't done anything Michael Myers for a long time, may be worth picking up.
Yeah, I'm definitely planning on picking this one up. It has a lot of cool accessories too. Again, I mean, I think NECA has really been doing. I will say, for the past couple years, NECA has done a lot of licenses that I just didn't care as much about picking up or collecting. But I feel like NECA manages to always add more to their product without raising the price terribly.
Or if they do, they raise it by $2 or $3.
But it always feels justified. Like now that they're doing these figures in these nice boxes, not clamshells, and they're coming with multiple head sculpts. And I mean, and now they're at Target. Which I
have not seen them in Target yet. Have you?
My parents called me today and were like, there's a Jason figure and a Chucky figure at Target. I'm like, oh my gosh, the NECA stuff's out.
Gastonia?
No, they're in.
Okay, I didn't know if they were in town.
No,
sorry.
they're in Tennessee. So, but it sounds like this was part of a recent Target reset, and so
yeah, they were changing around the toy aisle last time I was there, and I figured that's
very
what
cool
it's
to
for.
think you can go there. But I mean, again, they their Pennywise you can get it for under $30, and 3 head sculpts, changeable hands, and 2 accessories. That's pretty good for a incredibly articulated figure that looks.
And the sculpting's unreal.
Yeah, it is pretty impressive. I mean, you don't get cloth clothing, but sometimes it looks better, or sometimes it looks worse. So.
Yeah, it's boom or bust with cloth clothing. It's either
I will say it is very tough. Yeah, it's very tough to do right, and most of the time I think Mezco does it right, but sometimes it doesn't work out.
All right, I got one other thing in collecting I wanted to talk about. So this is the 25th anniversary of Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus.
I love that movie. I'm a big fan of that movie.
Yeah, my kid loves it. My wife loves it. It is pretty good.
I may try to sneak in a review of it here during the Halloween season. We can talk about that later, but there really has never been much product for Hocus Pocus. But Funko is doing the Sanderson sisters, but they're a Spirit of Halloween exclusive.
What is Spirit of Halloween? Is that the store?
Now, Spirit of Halloween is like a costume store. They do have actual physical stores, but you can go online and pre-order these as a set for like $34, $36, or individually for like $12.
Yeah.
Again, that's a little higher than most Funkos, but it's an exclusive. Nothing's ever really been done with this property. I would like to have these. I'm not saying I'm rushing out to buy them, but I think that's really cool.
My wife wants them.
Really?
She's got some pops, and she was like, "I want those." So not often that she's like has to have a pop, but they are pretty cool. They're definitely recognizable, and I like that Kathy Najimy has the vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
Pretty slick.
And what's cool, so they're re-releasing the film for Blu-ray. The 25th anniversary is coming out September 4th. I don't know if Target's doing a special edition. There's the main edition. Best Buy's Steelbook, which are sometimes overly priced to the point that they're not worth picking up.
Yeah.
But this one's pretty cool. It is the spell book of the Sanderson sisters.
It's got the eyeball on it.
Yeah, is the case. I put that out on Instagram today, but at Confirmed Epic Podcast on Instagram. You can follow me there. But yeah, that looks really cool, Jerry.
Hey, one other horror thing I wanted to mention real quick, toy wise, and then so NECA's doing this Guillermo del Toro line.
I've been looking for Amphibian Man, but that's one I actually want to pick up.
Yeah, they haven't. I haven't seen anything yet, but I think the Pale Man is probably going to be the first one that comes out from Pan's Labyrinth, which is definitely one of my favorite Del Toro films, and one of my probably favorite horror films overall. And this guy just looks incredible. There's going to be more of these coming out, but this is a pretty incredible looking figure. It's a bit more expensive. It's more like $35, but my gosh, I mean, he's pretty large, and he actually has like a throne and stuff with him. It's very cool. NECA feels like remember in the 90s how McFarlane was always doing cool stuff and kind of one-upping each other, like one-upping other companies? What NECA's doing makes me always feel like what NECA and Mezco are doing right now, and there's a lot of Hasbro stuff I like too, but what NECA and Mezco are doing kind of always make me think about like the late 90s when it felt like companies really were trying to like one-up each other and always do cooler stuff. So
the only thing about NECA is their license is something we can talk about maybe on another collecting topic after Halloween, but their license is so limited that it always is like not something that I'm like, oh, I have to get this. Whereas if it was less limited, like with the TMNT stuff, we can talk about that at a later date. Jerry, let's get into movies here. Talk about some movies we're looking forward to. One of the big ones I'm looking forward to is Hellfest. Hellfest, I believe, comes out around September 28th, toward the end of September. it is not a haunted house movie. It's more like a haunted theme park attraction movie. Something like you would see at Scare Winds or Halloween Haunt Nights at Universal or something like that.
Six Flags does a big thing. Not Scary Farms. It's been a big deal for a number of years to do those kind of things.
Yeah, and it seems like it's been growing every year. And I'm really looking forward to this. Like, the concept is there's basically a real murder and things get out of control in one of these haunted houses. It's got Amy Forsyth, who was the main character in the second season of Channel Zero. So I really would like to check this out. I'll probably have to wait for the Blu-ray. I'm not going to be able, or the on-demand. I'm probably not going to be able to get out to the theaters and see it. But just to
love
take,
to go see this.
Yeah, that would be fun to see in the theater. But just to take that kind of and instead of just doing a basic haunted, because there are a lot of movies like The House is October Built. You've seen that, right?
Yeah, I watched that a couple years ago when it came out.
And The House is October Built 2 came out last year.
Did
really
it?
Good. Yeah, it was a good follow-up.
I need to watch that. I kind of like the first one.
Yeah, it's a lot more out. Very few movies capture the feeling of Halloween. That does. House is October Built kind of captures that fall season.
Yeah.
Pretty well. But, Hellfest just looks like a dumb, fun horror movie. And I'm looking forward to that. And I put kind of a list of movies here, and I think Jerry has some other things. Jerry, what's something else you're looking forward to movie-wise?
Well, you had actually put it on there, but I am really interested in Summer of '84. Tell
us about this a little bit.
Well, I think I think it's a sequel to the Bryan Adams song. No, I'm just kidding. I don't believe that's correct. It looks like it's about a group of boys. I assume it takes place during the summer of 1984.
I think you'd be right.
I don't remember that much. I was like 1 at that time. But I think they believe that like a police officer who lives in their neighborhood is a serial killer. And so they're trying to investigate him. It already has actually premiered at a couple festivals, but it's supposed to be... Again, it's supposed to have a pretty limited release, but I'm hoping that, maybe something like Shudder or Netflix or, somebody will give this a better chance. But again, it looks like to have kind of that group of, young teenagers or something getting together to solve, I don't know. It makes me think of things like Fright Night or The Monster Squad with what little I've seen of this. I mean, I haven't seen much. I've more just heard people talk about it. And
the poster's cool. It's like a milk carton that's been squished that says Summer of '84, obviously playing on that whole missing on a milk carton thing. But
I saw the one that's like the suburban house. But it definitely, there is something about it that makes you think of an 80s horror film.
What I figure is the festival season is starting now. It kind of starts toward the end of summer going into the fall, and then they get major releases like you have like TIFF and Sundance is in January, but like TIFF and all that stuff is coming up, and I really think that we'll see a lot more about this in the coming months, and maybe it will get a wide release by the end of the year. And if not, I could see it having a big following, especially as popular as something like Stranger Things is right now.
Yeah,
I could see it having a big following on home video.
Brad, it feels like it clicks in with the zeitgeist of the moment.
It does. It does.
There's definitely a lot of these with it and Stranger Things and a lot of these the kids on bicycles genre. That's what it makes me think of.
That's its own subgenre of horror now. One I'm looking forward to is Slender Man, Jerry. And Slender Man comes out comes out this week, actually. I think it's the first Friday in August, or it may come out the week after Meg. It's sometime in August. It's early Halloween season for us. But the Slender Man is somebody who would appear in, like, internet videos. And he would kind of possess the minds. So this is based on a true story.
No. It's not.
No, am I wrong? Am I wrong?
So Slender Man was created on. Have you ever heard of creepypasta?
I think I have, but I don't know much about it. But go ahead, enlighten me.
Okay, so creepypasta was kind of this thing where people would write these scary stories, but you write them as if they're true. So it's kind of like taking the whole, it's taking the whole like sitting around and, telling the scary stories like as a kid about the person with the hook or,
around the campfire.
The killer who dresses like Santa Claus. Well, people would go online and write these stories as if they were real. And so somebody took I think the guy was like, I can't remember the guy's name, who created Slender Man. But it was this character that's unnaturally tall, thin, he has no face. And originally he was like put into pictures, like people would take these weird pictures and like, add him in or write stories. So he was created by somebody, but then he started also being created like as kind of like a wiki, type collaborative effort where multiple people were adding to the mythology. There was a thing called, we watched it years ago. I mean, and I say years ago, like not 10 years ago, but maybe 7 years ago. It's called Marble Hornets. It was like a YouTube series, but it was about someone filming a video. But anyway, so what's interesting is Slender Man is this mythology that was created within the last 10 to 12 years. But if you talk to kids who are younger, who have kind of grown up with like internet culture, they sort of just think Slender Man is real, but he's really just the modern equivalent of like a Bloody Mary or
Candyman.
Candyman, because I remember as a kid people talked about Candyman like Candyman was this real thing. Probably kids who never even realized it was a movie. And Slender Man has kind of become, of course, I think most people are familiar with Slender Man either because of all the video games. He appeared in Minecraft. There was an Xbox game where you had to find like pictures. But then a few years ago, there was a case where two young girls attempted to kill a friend because they thought it's what Slender Man wanted to do. Which
they did kill her.
I don't think she actually died. She almost did, but somebody found her. Fortunately, okay. I believe she did survive because I think she testified against them in that case because it took a while for that case to come up. But, which, I mean,
again,
it
was just a stabbing, you're right.
Which is interesting. It sounds as crazy as someone saying, I mean, imagine, somebody running around saying that, like, Skeletor told them to do something or Chewbacca. But because of the way these stories were written and told, I mean, obviously I think there has to be a severe mental illness there for someone to go out and do that. It's not something that any rational person does, but there's definitely a lot of people who think that Slender Man is now based on these real stories. I mean, you apparently did. No, not saying you believe in the Slender Man, but it has taken on this very mythological quality, but it was created to have that quality to it.
It's just really creepy.
It is very strange.
It's kind of like with The Conjuring and the Warrens. Like, that they're twisting it and bending it, and you're not seeing exactly what the Warrens have seen and whatnot. But just to know that this character had this kind of impact on these two girls, this fictional character, there's just something really off-putting about it. Jerry, go ahead.
And the fact that we know who, and I looked it up, it's Eric Knudsen. And he created him in 2009 on a thing that was called the Something Awful forums. So again, less than 10 years ago, and yet there are evidently lots of people who absolutely believe in this, that this is a real thing. And I think about all the places that I see information. I mean, it's kind of inspired by the works of H.P. Lovecraft, and you can see the pictures where people would write these pictures that were taken, and you can see like a Slender Man character in the background.
Oh, very creepy, very creepy. I'll probably again have to wait till this one hits home video. Jerry, Hereditary, which is supposed to be a psychological horror.
I want to see this movie so bad.
Okay, I'm getting it, and I'm going to send you the code. We're going to talk about this one in October on this podcast.
I'm giving you a thumbs up until I realize you can't see me, but I'm thumb upping the microphone.
It's supposed to have one of the most batshit, like, insane endings that spawn like millions of explainer articles on the internet.
Love it.
I honestly don't know too much about it, except for the fact that I'm dying to see it.
I prefer not to.
Yeah, me too. Winchester, you and I have been trying to watch this movie forever. It's about the Winchester
We tried
house.
to go see it. There was a gas leak at the theater.
We were gonna review it but
January.
we decided not to.
It was a January dump film.
I think it was early February.
That's even worse.
It was dumping grounds time,
Yeah.
but Winchester is available on VOD and on home video now, so I'm going to try to check that out this Halloween season about the infamous Winchester house in California. Just some like things as far as Halloween. I want to try to do like a Halloween marathon, and I say marathon, a weekly marathon. I'm going to try to start like because Halloween's on a Wednesday this year.
Yeah.
So the last Wednesday of August, start watching with the original Halloween, and then by the time we get to Halloween, I'll be through with them, and I'll just rewatch the original again.
Yeah.
So just do one a week, because I believe there's that. How many Halloween films are there? There's 11. Let's see. You have the 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This would be the 11th.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Coming out. Yeah, so if you start 11 weeks out, that would have you watching, starting with the original Halloween, ending with the original Halloween on Halloween. So one thing I thought about doing too when I watched this is instead of going all the way through and ending with the Rob Zombie, just do Halloween 1 and 2. And then, or maybe Halloween 1, 2, and H2O, and then doing the 2 Rob Zombies, kind of like mixing it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Instead of just watching them as they were released. Obviously, the big boogeyman in the room is Halloween, right? That's what we're looking forward to. Comes out October 19th. Very seldom are there movies that Jerry and I are like, we have to see this in the theater. Because our life and schedule is so busy now with kids and a wife and jobs, but we have to see this in the theater,
this
right?
Almost takes on the level of like a Star Wars or something for me. Like, I need to go see this one ASAP.
Yeah, it's just a notch below that.
I don't want anybody to tell me about it. I don't want to hear anybody's thoughts on it. I just want to go see it.
And I think that says it all on that.
I'm
going to be checking out a lot more on Shudder, and we hope to review the new Halloween movie here on the podcast. Let's talk about TV a little bit, Jerry.
TV.
Channel Zero is a horror anthology series that is, the best way I could describe it is, it's like the indie, edgier version of American Horror Story. Like, American Horror Story is the mainstream horror anthology. Whereas
and that's
Channel
pretty
Zero,
far out there still a good bit of the time.
Yeah, whereas Channel Zero is more like the punk rock horror anthology series on. And it's way scarier than American Horror Story. I watched the second season, which is Channel Zero No End House, about a haunted house that appears randomly at one location every Halloween. And if you go inside, you'll probably never come back out. And it was insanely scary and off-putting. I just started Candle Cove today. Candle Cove is the first season. You want to hear the premise of this one, Jerry?
I do.
This is the one that's about to be on Shudder. So in 1990, so it's modern time. I think this one came out in 2016. So it's set in modern times. But in 1988, 6 children went missing I think it was in Ohio. And one of the main character's younger brother went missing in 1980, or twin brother, went missing in 1988. And all the kids that went missing were known to have watched this local children's puppet show called Candle Cove, and there were like hidden messages like luring them to the woods, and they ended up finding all 6 of the kids like strung up in trees, like hanging from trees, and they weren't like lynched, they were like stabbed through the tree branches.
It's creepy, man.
And it's a very creepy like shot when it reveals that on the first episode. But this show is basically reappearing randomly, and that's the premise of the first season.
It sounds like another creepypasta.
there's one character. So like the main kind of monster is he's completely made of teeth of the victims,
Oh my gosh.
and it is very, very Jerry. Like this show was made for you. Like
You're simultaneously
especially-
you're simultaneously selling it to me and then also telling me like I don't know that I want to watch this, but I don't know.
because it's so scary. Yeah, I
There's
mean, like
things
it's
about-
legit
Yeah.
scary.
It sounds
Like it's
creepy.
not like American Horror Story is like fun, scary.
I don't
like,
know.
it's
I
just,
think there's a
like,
couple
over
of those
the-
that legit scare me.
I'm talking about American Horror Story here in a minute. And then I haven't even started season 3, which is Butcher's Block. That one came on in the spring, so that's relatively new. And I'm going to try to watch that before Halloween. But I think it's about cannibals. Not
Okay.
really sure. 'Cause
Makes sense.
I don't try to look up or listen to too much about it.
Yeah, because that
just
ruins so
because-
much of a. It ruins so much of
Exactly.
a horror movie sometimes.
Now, Jerry, I'm taking over this topic, I know, but Jerry is notoriously a bad TV watcher.
Bad
so-
TV watcher.
Jerry, American Horror Story Season 8. I love American Horror Story. You actually got me to watch this show. I think I surpassed you watching every season. What's the last season you watched of American Horror Story?
The 4?
Was that
That was
Freak Show?
Freak Show.
Okay, all right. So I'm completely caught up. We watched all the way through Cult. The last 2 years, Hotel was the last really good season. Roanoke and then Cult. Cult started out so good, then kind of took a nosedive. The last 3 episodes, it kind of went on a little too long. But this season is called Apocalypse, and it's combining my wife and I's 2 favorite seasons, which is Murder House Season 1, which set the standard for American Horror Story, and Coven, the witch season. These 2 have a lot of the same so it's an anthology series, as you probably know, and a lot of the same actors play different characters and whatnot. But this is going to have a lot of crossover as far as a lot of the same actors in Coven almost were the exact same actors in Murder House.
Right.
Like there wasn't much differentiation, but these 2 seasons are crossing over. But here's what makes it even more epic. Jessica Lange is returning. Jerry.
That's
she
pretty
has
cool.
not been on the show since season 4. So
definitely one of my favorite actresses that appeared in those,
So
earlier seasons.
Here's a mild spoiler. Well, this is a spoiler for the end of season 1. But Jerry, so you can skip ahead a minute or 2 on your app if you don't want to hear this. But Jerry, you remember the baby that's birthed at the end of the first season?
Yes, that's actually Tate's child with
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what's her name? Who was on Nashville?
Connie Britt.
Connie Britt.
Connie
Yeah.
So that child is full grown. I
Okay.
believe. I think that's where we're at. And it's about I think it's going to be about the end of times. But I hope Tessa Farmiga comes back. That's rumored she is. Emma Roberts is rumored. I have a love-hate relationship with Emma Roberts as an actress. She dates, Abby told me about this, she dates Evan Peters in real life.
Really?
And he she beats him. And the cops had to be called many times because she's beat him. Now, he has never laid a hand on her.
Yeah.
But she's physically abused. So I'm beyond excited. Would you watch this when it comes on Netflix? Just
I
because
certainly
you've seen
would.
these
I
2
certainly would try
seasons?
to because I really did like those first couple seasons.
What's your favorite season of the first 4?
Oh jeez. I really liked Asylum quite a bit. I really liked Asylum, and I really liked the Freak Show.
I'd say my favorite's probably Coven with the witches.
Yeah, that was a good season too.
Yeah, it definitely is my favorite. All right, another thing, Halloween tradition, AMC Fear Fest. I know you don't have cable. I'm still one of those hanging on to my cable and satellite. But it usually starts around October 23rd. Play different movies. Of course, they're edited for TV, so that kind of sucks. But I always love to I turn it on in the background during the Halloween season. AMC Fear Fest. They always culminate with Halloween. Jerry, not too much in the world of Halloween, as far not too much Halloween stuff, excuse me, in the world of comics.
Yeah.
There's an Avengers Halloween special coming out. I'm going to be picking that up, although I get my comics late, so I don't have it. The cover looks cool. It's like jack-o'-lanterns carved with the Avengers logo in it, in a pumpkin patch with the scarecrow. And then DC is doing looks like kind of one of those anthologies where different characters have different stories throughout.
The horror cavalcade or something.
Yeah,
the
cover is wicked. It's like Batman coming out of a grave and a zombie holding on to him.
Yeah, that looks pretty cool. I did take a look at that and was familiar that was coming out, and it definitely seemed like something worth picking up.
Yeah. Jerry, is there anything else? I'm going to kind of go over our schedule here, and I have some closing questions. Is there anything else as far as collecting movies, TV?
Man, only thing I wanted to point out...
comics.
Maybe it's not quite horror, but The Predator is coming out, so I think that's kind of a big deal. That is a big deal. That's another film I really, really, really am looking forward to, that I have high expectations for, or high hopes for, we should say.
You're going to see that in the theater. I don't know if I'll be able to, but
I would feel terrible if I didn't. It's The Predator.
I know.
The other one that just sounds... There is a film that is on the tip of my tongue.
Mandy?
Not Mandy. I know I told you about that. The Nicolas Cage fighting a demon biker gang or something. There is some movie that I read an article on some horror site a couple weeks ago that it's coming out in August. It's supposed to be so many practical effects. It looked like a bunch of what the heck was that? Brad, did you just make a really weird sound or anything?
No, that was not me, Jerry. I'll just talk a horror is freaking you out.
I don't know. No, maybe it's like the cat outside or something. I don't know. Anyways, it sounds like it's about this group of young women that are fighting monsters or something, but it looks like it has all these practical effects and just looks really cool.
Is it set at Halloween?
Hold on, there's something in my chimney. I'm not joking you, Brad.
You're not joking.
I have my chimney sealed off.
Are you in the living room?
Yeah. And I'm wondering if something is crawled down in it.
All right, you take a look at that, and I'm going to run down the schedule here for Hokey Halloween Horror. Okay.
This is not planned, but this couldn't have been better, right? Oh my gosh.
I had that possum one time, but okay, so we start out with Anthology August. We're going to be going back to the 90s for the Christian Slater horror anthology film, Tales from the Dark Side. So that'll be in 2 weeks. Slasher September. The plan right now is to do Ruin Me, which is a Shudder exclusive. I mentioned that earlier. It is about a group of horror aficionados, horror superfans who go out to this thing called Slasher Sleepaway to get the true Halloween, slasher experience, and it gets out of hand. Check that out. We'll review that one in September. Then also in September, Halloween 2. I wanted to talk about that just because it's such a great Halloween film, and it's kind of getting thrown out a little bit with the new Halloween movie coming out. Jerry, are you there? Okay, I guess that yeah, all right, Jerry. Very funny.
There is no Jerry, only Zool. No, I don't know. Earlier today, something was tapping in my chimney.
Right,
it turned out to be a blue bottle or a bee or something. It was down in there, and I don't know. I mean, I've got it sealed off right now, but it was smacking against the thing. I think that's just what it was.
As long as you don't find your dad dressed like Santa Claus.
Oh my gosh, man, that is one of the most
depressing Gremlins reference.
And you just don't expect it. It comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's what are you talking about?
So, Jerry, I'm going through this in 2 weeks. Anthology August, Tales from the Dark Side. Slasher September, Ruin Me on Shudder, and Halloween 2. You let me know if you have a problem with any of these, okay?
Okay.
October, Hereditary, and then Halloween, the new film, Halloween 2018. For Re-Halloween, I actually wanted to do Hocus Pocus, since it's the 25th anniversary.
Okay, we can do that.
And then if something happens where we see Halloween late, we could do Hocus Pocus in October and maybe early November. We do Halloween. Those could be interchangeable. But I also want to announce, if you go to tpublic.com, by the time this is live on YouTube, iTunes, SoundCloud, Podbean, all that, there is a brand new Hokey Halloween horror shirt at tpublic.com/user/TheRealBradBell. All proceeds go to the Confirmed Epic podcast to fund our horror addiction here. And they do have onesies, so I think I'll be getting Harper a onesie for Halloween.
Nice.
All right, Jerry, I think I'm going to get a hoodie. You can get hoodies and shirts, but general Halloween questions as we close out tonight. Just, real quick, why is Halloween your favorite holiday?
Oh, man, it's tough. I mean, it's, in terms of like significance or meaning to my life, it's probably not my favorite holiday. But in terms of just being a lot of fun, I absolutely love Halloween. So I really like pumpkins. Pumpkins are like my spirit gourd. And so I love fall. I like pumpkins. I like cooler weather. I like things that are kind of spooky and weird. And Halloween just always feels like a really good time to express those things. And so it's just a lot of fun. I mean, most of the time there's just kind of a no strings attached for Halloween. And you can just do so many weird things and interesting, fun things with it, whether it's, like scare people or go to a haunted house or watch a spooky movie or eat lots of candy or, just do a bonfire or something completely, normal and non-frightening. There's so much you can do with it. It's just a lot of fun, sort of take time to kind of think about things that scare you, but also kind of mock them as well. You're sort of mocking the things that frighten you a little bit at Halloween, and I think there's something empowering about that.
The thing about Halloween, too, with like Christmas, as you get older, it's not as fun because some of the mystique's gone. It's still fun, don't get me wrong. With Halloween, I've never really lost that mystique, even after I quit trick-or-treating. It's just the entire season with I love candy, watching horror movies. I know that every holiday is like this, but there's something about Halloween that it's just hard to quantify. You just get that feeling. Even if you don't have much going on the actual day. Like, I remember 2 years ago, we actually had a teacher work day on Halloween.
Yeah.
I know, that never happens. So, like, randomly I had, unless it's Saturday or Sunday, usually don't have Halloween off work, but I randomly had Halloween off work. Abby was working. This is what I did. I had to get my oil changed that day, but then I watched, I watched the first 4 Friday the 13th films and 8 Taco Bell.
Oh, man.
Candy. And it was just a great day. That feeling of Halloween was there. Now, my wife later on hit a parked car when, our neighborhood's crazy on Halloween.
And there was nobody in it.
Yeah, there was nobody in it, so thank God nobody got hurt. I mean, it ended up being no big deal whatsoever, filed on the insurance, but there's also that feeling you get when the air is crisp for the first time. There's nothing like it. And I associate that with Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
But when that crispness is in the air and you carve a pumpkin and just the smell of that, I don't know if there's anything quite like that, Jerry.
It's better than pumpkin spice.
Oh, pumpkin spice lattes, dude. I love pumpkin everything, dude. I love pumpkin coffee. I know you don't drink, but I love pumpkin beer. I love pumpkin everything. I love it. You got all kinds of things that go along with the fall season, but Halloween is definitely at
pumpkin
the tippy
seeds.
top. Yeah, there's nothing like
pumpkin
it. What's
pie.
your favorite? So, closing question: what's your favorite Halloween tradition? Do you have one?
I absolutely love carving a pumpkin. Because once the pumpkin's carved, we always, turn all the lights out and use the light of the pumpkin. And so this is my tradition now. Because obviously we, do not put the movie on with the little one around. But yeah. I'll just turn the DVD screen on for Halloween with without the screen and just listen to the music over and over. and turn the
You
light.
need to buy the soundtrack.
I need to just buy
Jerry.
the soundtrack, right? Isn't that just like a better option? Last year, though, we found a little compilation on YouTube that had lots of different, just Halloween songs on it, including a Halloween theme, and put that on. But always, and I've been doing this for years, when I walk the pumpkin outside and put it on the porch, I have to make the woo like Jamie Lee Curtis and the kids do in Halloween. I have to do that now. And I've done that for a while and put it on the porch. Definitely one of my favorite Halloween traditions. Over the past couple years, one of the other ones is watching Halloween itself.
Oh yeah,
On Halloween. Gotta watch Halloween on Halloween.
The past couple of years when we've carved a pumpkin, what we've done is we've watched Trick or Treat, we've carved a pumpkin, and if it's been cool enough, excuse me, a lot of times Halloween's it's either hot or freezing.
Yeah.
It seems like there's
it's
no
never in between, is it?
Or it's usually cool right before, then it gets hot. But we've watched Trick or Treat, carved the pumpkin, then had like a little bonfire. So, one of my favorite traditions is just I usually always watch one of it. Doesn't have to be the first one, but I watch one of the Halloweens on Halloween. If not multiple of them. Usually I end the night with one of those and just eating whatever candy's left. My favorite Halloween candy is probably Kit Kat or Crunch Bars.
Kit Kat for me. I love Kit Kats.
And I usually don't eat a lot of like those chocolatey kind of candies outside of Halloween.
Usually you eat jelly beans.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, my dentist loves those Starburst jelly beans. But we got so much fun in store for you over the next couple months. Again, this podcast is twice a month now. So we're recording a little earlier. We're recording on a Tuesday night. So in 2 weeks, we will be recording a new episode for you. And if you want to watch along for Anthology August, it will be Tales from the Dark Side, Jerry. So I'm going to watch your copy and get that back to you.
Sounds good.
So, Jerry, where can people find more of you and your 99 Days of Halloween on the internet this week?
Keep checking stuff out at actionfigurebarbecue.com. That's BARBECUE.com, where we're serving up reviews and little morsels of Halloween goodness in a convenient, fun size every day.
As for me, find me on Twitter at TheRealBradBell, DREEL Brad Bell. Find this show wherever podcasts are available, such as iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Podbean, YouTube at The Epic Review, thepicreview.com, at Geeks Worldwide, thegww.com. When you listen to this podcast, don't forget to go get your Hokey Halloween horror shirt to celebrate this year's 2018 edition of Hokey Halloween Horror on the Confirmed Epic podcast. That's it. tpublic.com/user/TheRealBradBell, and I'll be tweeting out links to that on Twitter and Instagram, of course. And from the haunted foothills of North Carolina, we are out.
Andy, no, please. We're friends to the end, remember?
This is the end, friend.
This has been a production of the GWW Radio Network. Please don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. Also, check out Geeks Worldwide at thegww.com for all the latest news, reviews, and opinions on video games, comics, movies, TV, cosplay, and more. Geeks, assemble!